Two girls, one podcast, and their unsolicited opinions.
Plug in your headphones or find a private space because this content is not safe for work.
Welcome to On Her Bookshelf.
Welcome back, Bookshelf Besties. I'm Christy.
And I'm Julia.
And I didn't know who of us was doing it.
Honestly, when I was like, are you going to say it or am I going to say it? Anyways,
yeah.
This week we are actually talking about two books.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Love and Other Sins series. Mm-hmm. So book one being Love and Other Sins, book two being Love and Other Cages. Now, I think we both got approved for the ALC for Love and Other Cages on NetGalley, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. But did you listen to Love and Other Sins? Okay.
There's a story to that.
Ooh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me starting listening to Love and Other Cages and being like, kind of feels like there might have been a book before this. Nah. And I kept reading. I didn't know until like 90% that there was another book before it. But it still made sense.
Wow, you really did your research.
Well, actually, I was like, that sounds good. I'll read that.
Look, I did read a few reviews before I dove into Love and Other Cages. Because again, I was like, is this a book one? Is this a book two? Like, I want to know like what I'm getting myself into. Is this going to be a book that I'm going to enjoy listening to for starters as well? And yeah, I discovered like going through Goodreads, someone had put a review up saying like, I listened to this or like I read this without reading book one. And you know, if you read book one, you've got a bit more background, but you can go into book two without like the history of book one.
Yeah.
However, I'm here to tell you, you should have fucking read book one.
I realize that now.
The emotional impact, the turmoil, how destroyed I am, I feel like it's just escalated because of book one.
Book two was already emotional rollercoaster 3000. Like I was screaming in my car at some points. I was sobbing. I was shocked. I was fucking like, and it also though, because you start off book two and you're kind of like, oh, that's kind of cute. And then balls to the wall, insane shit happens. Like insane. And I was like,
that's kind of cute. No, I know exactly how book two starts. It does not start, oh, that's kind of cute.
no, it is. Right at the start, because he had stayed the night and it was the first time that they had confessed their love. Okay, fuck you.
Okay, I just remember exactly what happens right after that.
Literally, the next chapter
page.
or whatever. Like, it's like...
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't read the blurb properly either, because half the shit that happened, I was like, wow, okay.
Neither. I go into books so blind.
Same.
I just want
I love it. I love that.
Yes. I just want to have like the full impact of a book, and I find if I read the blurb, it's spoiling me for the surprises.
Yeah,
so
I don't want to know.
So actually, right on this, because I'm at war with myself on an audiobook I just started, and I listened to the author's note beforehand. Kind of wish I didn't. Kind of glad that I did, because I feel like the emotional impact of like the tropes in this book, it just makes me, it kind of softened me and go, oh, okay, I'm here for this now. But I told you just before, I started listening to Out on a Limb by Hannah
Bonham Young.
Thank you. Me just stuttering over here. And I had no clue what that book was about. I kind of just know he has a prosthetic leg. Yeah. That's all that I know. How much do you know about that book?
That's all I know as well. So
maybe cover your ears so I can say.
I just won't listen to the author's note. Oh, okay. I mean, because you're going to talk about it.
I've just been talking about it.
No, I will forget about this by like 3 hours later.
Really?
So go for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Pregnancy trope.
Oh, fuck. Like accidental pregnancy trope, or
it's the whole plot. The whole plot of the book.
I'll still read it.
It's okay.
No,
it is actually so well done. I'm like 2 hours into the audiobook. I'm loving it so far.
I like pregnancy trope when it is done.
Well done. Yes.
If it's the ending to a book, is it happily ever after? Then I want to sue people.
Here's the thing. If you had read the blurb of the back, I'm sure it starts off with one night stand on Halloween turns into accidental pregnancy.
Okay, no, I like those.
Yeah.
I like those ones.
Yeah.
So it's picky.
It's so far so good.
Okay.
Yeah. But in saying that, I feel like if I hadn't listened to the author's note beforehand, that would have been like not reading the blurb at the back of the book. And when she ends up being pregnant, I would have been like, what? But because I listened to the author's note, I was like, oh, here's the bit where she finds out she's pregnant. She's at the doctor's. What a surprise! She's pregnant.
Oh,
like it just took away a little bit of that
surprise,
shock factor for me. I like to get. I want to feel the emotions. I want to have like full impact when I read a book.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how I felt with this series that we're going to talk about.
So anyways, back to Love and Other Sins. Yeah, I actually had like my Spotify listening hours reset. So I was like, there it is on Spotify. I'm going to listen to Love and Other Sins first before I listen to Love and Other Cages. And I'm so glad I did, because holy fuck did it like make Love and Other Cages that much better.
I'm going to go back and read it.
Good.
I've already decided. I loved her writing.
Honestly, I am. Yeah, I need this book on as like a trophy.
Same.
I need it on my shelf, like, because I do want to go back and actually physically read it as well.
I want to highlight it.
No,
with tabs.
Oh, okay.
No, with tabs. No, I've already given up on the highlighting.
We're a full annotating girly now.
Oh. Should we actually quickly talk about what we've done? Our travesty.
Well, I haven't started marking my book yet. So many fucking tangents before we get into it. Anyways, as you guys probably know, we do have a Facebook group. Mm-hmm. It's called Bookshelf Besties. It's essentially just like a safe space for people to talk about books they like. But we also have like a little monthly book club. Mm-hmm. Mainly because a lot of our members on Facebook are local to like the Brisbane area where like we live. So, you know, we want to have a monthly book club, a book that we talk about on the pod. Like, we started doing it last year, but we kind of lost a little bit of momentum. But we're back again. We're back, baby. So, yeah, we have our first meetup coming up in, I think, 2 weeks. And our first book clip is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Mm-hmm. One of my picks, because again, I started listening to Emily Henry this month and I've been enjoying her writing a lot. So I thought, Book Lovers, that sounds like a great title. That'll do. That's all I knew about it.
Yep.
And anyways, Christy over here has decided to annotate her book, and she's not the only book club member that's starting to like physically annotate the book club pick. I'm going to as well. I've never written in a book before.
This is a big thing for us, okay?
I'm so anxious. Like, just thinking about it, I'm so anxious. But yeah, tell me.
I don't know where we were going.
Tell the class.
Oh yeah, I don't ever want to do it again. I've now come to realize, which I already know, that I'm really bad at creative stuff. In my head I'm like, oh, this would be cute. I'll do like a little highlight and I'll do like a little cute picture of like a little sad face or a little happy face and some love hearts when I love a scene. I can't even draw in a straight fucking line, Julia.
So funny.
It's so bad.
It's so
and I
funny.
cannot draw for shit. So my little drawings throughout are cursed.
Yeah.
So I've ruined the whole book and I just want to throw it out at this point.
No.
I'm not going to.
Just donate it. It'll be fine. Somebody else will read your notes. I think when we do our episode for our book lovers for our book club pick, we're gonna have to show the annotations. Obviously, you gotta share with the class.
I'd rather take it to my grave, honestly.
I won't let you.
Cool.
I won't let you at all.
Thanks. Yeah. So,
Love and Other Sins series by Emilia Ares. So I suppose I was the only one who listened to book one. It was a magnificent eye roll.
Thank you.
Are we going to do the 30 seconds? No. Why did I remind you? I was
30 seconds?
60 seconds.
60 seconds? Yeah. You do 60 seconds for that one. I'll do 60 seconds for the other.
Okay, I like
Deal.
this.
Cool.
Okay. I gotta remember.
Okay, so...
I'm panicking. My heart rate just like sped up.
Call the doctor.
Ooh, okay.
You've got this. 1 minute. Are you ready?
I think so. Let's do this.
Set, go.
So, Love and Other Sins by Emilia Ares follows the perspective of 2 main characters. We've got Mina and Oliver. Mina is Russian but born in America, so she's kind of faced a lot of like, I guess, racial stereotypes her whole life. And Oliver is a foster kid. He's been through the system. He got fucked over by the system. He's secretly like a millionaire or something like that. Anyways, these 2 kids end up at the same high school, form a friendship. they, throughout the book, like, fall in love and, like, develop feelings for one another while still, like, battling, like, a lot of stuff on the side. So, like, Oliver is, like, his own... Oh God, I want to say entity, but it's not the right thing. He doesn't have parents, so he's responsible for himself, only recognised by the court system and whatnot. Mina dances. There's a scene with a pool. Shit, now I'm panicking because I can see this. Ta-da!
You did really well, though.
I don't know what I did, though. There was a lot of stuff I forgot about.
Yeah, like what about her getting beat up?
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about Love and Other Sins before we do your 60 seconds, because otherwise it's just going to get confusing.
And then I can learn what happened.
Yes. So, Mina is Russian.
Yes.
She's born in America, though, but her mother has, like, really heavy, like, Russian accent still. So they kind of face a lot of, racial stereotyping just from people like, go back to your own country, things like that. And, you know, because her mother has quite a thick accent, like... Yeah. You know, if she has to call the insurance company, she'll get Mina to do it because Mina doesn't have that Russian accent like her mother does.
Yeah.
I fell in love with her mother in this book, which is something you missed out on going straight into Love and Other Cages.
I still got many parts though,
yeah.
and I loved her.
I feel like there's only one scene with her mother in Love and Other Cages towards like the very end of the book, and it does not do her character justice.
You got one at the start as well, after the break-in. No, before the break-in, sorry.
Yes. So anyways, Mina and her mum, they have like this Lily, her name's Lily. They have this beautiful relationship, a lot of trust between like mother-daughter, and then like Mina, I feel like Mina being like a teenager, she's a high school student, she's going through like an age where she does start to like rebel a little bit against her mother. Not like over the top rebellion, but more just like her mum's disappointed in her. You know, she's staying out late, she's not telling her mum where she is. And then, like, yes, one day, Mina gets attacked in an alleyway. As it turns out, the attack is targeted because Mina's dad has done something to upset, like, these Russian mobsters. And the only way, like, these Russian mobsters kind of think to get at her dad is to obviously go after his kid, like, threaten the kid, the dad will fall into line. So Mina gets beat up. Oliver is there to, like, rescue her. But because of this, her mum is like, we should just pack up and leave. We should go. Like, this is, like, your safety. And Lily, like, Mina's mum, does talk to Mina's dad, and apparently everything is sorted and whatnot. So they stay at the school, continue life as normal. And you kind of almost forget that this happened. Like, she got beat up in an alleyway, and then that was kind of, like, it. For, like, 3/4 of the book, that was it. And there's more, like, a heavier focus on just Mina wanting to do more with her life, but her mum still being so scared about, like, her safety, being, like, you know, a parent with a teenager. Yeah. And Oliver doesn't have parents because of, like, the foster system, and is emancipated from his parents. Like, even though he's a teenager, he's not 18 yet.
He's his own guardian.
He's his own guardian, yes. So there's a lot of stuff that goes through, like, book one, where you hear about how bad the foster system is, how it let him down, and how he went through, like, the legal system and whatnot to, I guess, for, like, some justice. But there's still, like, a lot of wrongs with it. It's not perfect. Yeah. And Oliver, wanting to kind of, like, take care of himself, he, like, buys and sells phones on the side, like, technology and whatnot. And you kind of, like, look into this and go, this just feels dodgy. Like, you're buying phones off essentially, like, Craigslist and then, like, selling them the same time. And he's just like, oh, no, my people are legit. They've all got receipts and everything. So he actually doesn't know if he's in, like, the wrong or not. He believes what he's doing is good because he trusts the people he buys the phones from have the receipts to show that they're not stolen property. Yeah. I'm like, mate, you're buying, like, 30 iPhones off, like, Craigslist. Like, something feels dodgy about this. Mina is also a dancer. Mm-hmm. Towards the end of the book, like, Mina and her best friend, they want to, like, they're both dancers, and they want to perform at this rave. And, like, by then, like, there's been a lot of fights with, like, her mum, and Oliver is also there for her safety because he found out that the people that do these raves are actually, like, Russian mobsters as well. So he's like, no, she can't be there. It's not safe for you. And he goes and like tells her mum, and it's just, it gets so fucking messy. Anyways, like, Oliver doesn't have a ticket to the rave, and he does like absolutely everything he can to try and get in there, get Mina, like help her mum make sure that she's safe and away from this. And it's just like, book one is essentially just two teenagers trying to figure out like their place in the world. Does that make sense? Like, it's so fucking simple.
Yeah.
And like, towards the end of the book, like after the rave, there's an after party, and you know, they're forgiving each other. They're like having like first kisses and everything. They're mucking around, throwing one another into the pool, and yeah, essentially like the book ends with Oliver accidentally sleeping over at Mina's house, and they're like opening up to each other and having like these heartwarming like confessions and like I love yous and things like that. And it's just like, you feel like everything like happens like really quickly in like their relationship timeline, but then you go up and go like, these are teenagers, like of course they're in like puppy love kind of situation, and it's just, it's so sweet. Book one is just so innocent and so sweet of these like two people, and like, yes, there are like hardened factors of like the world around them that is impacting their like day-to-day lives, but it just doesn't feel like it's the worst thing.
Yeah.
Because like the overall story is following like these two people. And Oliver does like end up having like some more contacts and whatnot with this guy called like CJ.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like this whole scene where CJ's wife, he's like, she's at a meet instead of CJ, and she's all just like coming onto him and everything like that, like taking off her top and trying to get like Oliver to like essentially, it's so weird. Like, I can just,
she's an older woman.
yeah, I think of her as like a cougar.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter that she's married to CJ. She fucking just goes after what she wants as a way to punish her husband, and that's just like their relationship dynamic.
Yeah.
It's
Ew.
weird. Kieran, her name was.
Yeah.
Didn't care for her.
Predator.
So yeah, that also caused tension between like Mina and Oliver, because Mina saw like a lipstick kiss on
Makes sense, yeah.
Oliver, because Kieran had like forced herself into his space, before he like shoved her away. But yeah, like the book essentially ends with Oliver and Mina like waking up in Mina's room going, oh shit, you've accidentally slept over, quick, go out the window. So Oliver goes out the window, and that's like Oliver done for that book. But then like there's this whole kerfuffle that happens at Mina's house. Like, people have broken into Mina's house.
That starts in book 2.
Does it?
Yeah.
I feel like it touches on it at the end of book 1. And then it repeats the chapter more so.
Because book 2 starts with them in bed, him waking up being like, oh shit, I slept in.
Okay, clearly I have like forgotten how the book ends, because I clearly went from straight from book 1 to book 2, but I swear there was a little bit of overlap where book 1 ended and then book 2 started, but it kind of like went back and told it from a different character perspective.
I don't know.
So
I
like
can't tell you.
book 1 ends from Mina's perspective, but book 2 starts. Shut up, that's right. But book 2 starts from Oliver's perspective. So the chapter does repeat itself, but it's from a different character's perspective.
I'm trusting you.
I
don't know.
Who cares? I loved it. So. Like, I loved it so much, I went straight from book 1 to book 2. Like, I didn't even breathe. I was like, next.
Yeah, I absorbed.
No,
book
I'm
2.
pretty sure.
I believe you.
You know what? People can fucking comment to correct me or not. Like, I'll accept it if I'm wrong, because you can't say shit because you didn't read book 1.
I know, and I'm not saying shit.
So
okay?
I'm certain. I'm certain book 1 ended. They wake up in the morning. He has to go out the window, and then she starts hearing stuff downstairs, and it kind
Wants to fight. That's what I'm hearing.
it kind of ends on a cliffhanger situation. Cool, that'll do. Whatever. So yeah, you missed out. You missed out. Like, going straight into book 2, you missed out on truly getting to know the characters as like innocent teenagers.
Me for book 2.
Okay.
You nearly whacked her in the face.
It's not the first time. Yeah, so I loved book 1. Easily give it. Oh, do I give it 5 stars?
Oh.
What did I give it? I haven't even paused to think about it. I think it's a 5-star for me. Like, I'm still thinking about it.
I gave book 2 5 stars.
Yeah, easily.
It's already one of my top
Emotional
reads this
impact.
year.
Yeah. So yeah, clearly I've completely spoiled the whole plot for like book one. But I loved it. It's clearly like, the book one is clearly YA. Mm-hmm. There's like zero spice other than just like a few scenes like where they kiss. You know, it's just like first love in a situation, and it's just, there is something so innocent about book one, and I feel like that's just how well done it was to make book two fucking hit you that much harder.
Yeah. And book two is not YA. I thought it was going to be YA, and it felt YA at the start, and then all of a sudden I was like, this is not YA.
No. It definitely could have gone a lot further. Held back, I think, in some areas. But in what has happened to the main character, it could have been worse, is what I'm saying.
Did we read the same book?
We totally read the same book. But I'm talking like, you know what? Let's just do the 60 seconds and then I'll tell you what I mean after.
Okay. Let's see if I can do it better. Probably
I
not.
believe in you. This is still fresh in our heads. Alright. Where is it? We're going to do 60 seconds on the clock, starting now.
Okay, so yeah, it follows on. Mina and her mum Lily, their house get broken into by two Russian mobsters. One of them is Krill, the guy that beat her up in the alley. So this is happening, and while this is happening, Oliver is off doing something, can't remember what. But anyway, he's going to like karate or something, and he meets that friend, and he takes that friend in because he's homeless, and he gives him a job. Anyway, so they get broken into, they get beaten up. Lily ends up like pretty much dead. Like she's nearly dying, you know, she's bad, okay? And then Mina fights them off, and they end up leaving. And then Lily gets taken to the hospital. There's this whole thing. And this is where Mina realizes that she is in more danger than she thought. And she can't tell Oliver because people around her get hurt. I don't know how much time I have left, and this is killing me.
1 second.
At least I was able to talk this time.
That's
At least
true.
we got like 3 chapters.
And you touched on the start of the book.
Yeah. But stuff happens. Obviously, I got cut off, but
That's
I
because you
meant
had
from the
60
timer.
seconds. Your 60 seconds was up. That's on you.
So much happens though. It's still all insane.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
absolutely insane.
Crazy.
It just went on this massive like tangent.
So, okay,
that
so
I
the
didn't
thing,
see happening.
the thing that you didn't get to for the audience, Mina essentially gets taken by like Russian mobsters and ends up in
Russia.
Russia. Like, we're literally like reading a book that went from like young love in school where like their worst worries was just like passing class to all of a sudden she's part of like human trafficking.
But then it gets like even more unhinged though, because this is what got me. So that was just like, oh, okay, that makes sense because I already know about the fight in the alley because it touches on that.
Yes.
And stuff like that. I already know that they're watching her dad, and it makes sense that she's being kidnapped.
Yeah.
She also gets told to let herself get kidnapped by the FBI.
Okay, this is something that I've been thinking about a lot.
I don't think she was FBI.
I was just about to say that. Like, was she actually FBI?
Nah. Don't trust
I
that
don't
bitch.
think so.
And we don't hear from her.
Ever again.
Yeah.
Ever again. So essentially, like, to expand like further on what happened in the hospital was, yeah, like, I thought Lily was fucking dead.
Same.
Like, chapter 2, I thought Lily was dead. And like, my notes are like, wow, ripped my heart out like within the first 30 minutes.
thanks.
Like, holy shit. She ends up being like alive, but she's just
really
like in
bad.
critical care.
Yeah.
And yeah, this FBI, like there's police there and whatnot, but like FBI show up and it's like, we want you to get taken. Like, it's the only way we're going to like track down the people that hurt your family. Like, get taken. We'll be there the whole time to like monitor you and like pull you out and whatnot.
She gets taken for months. It's like 6 months or something.
Something bonkers. It
Something
starts off with
ridiculous.
being like 6 weeks has passed without her knowing, and then like time just keeps jumping and jumping
Yeah.
and jumping.
And like, she doesn't just get like taken to Russia. It's more than that. She gets fucking beaten, like to the
Torture.
point, like she gets filmed. It's fucked up, some of the scenes. Like, I was like, oh shit.
Okay, so this is the bit where I was saying like it could have been a lot worse. She could have been raped, is what I was.
She nearly did.
She was almost. almost. So that's why I mean, like, I read a lot of dark books, so this
Yeah,
could have been a lot
okay.
worse.
Still
It was still
fucked
like
up.
so fucked up what happened.
And
like
then-
tortures, like we're going
Yeah.
like oxygen deprivation, like
Yeah, like full like things I hadn't even heard of before. I was like, wow. But then like the whole spin where they then, after they've done the torture, now that they've got like the dad kind of back on the
Cooperating,
leash, you know, her only options is to then be like thrown into like a whorehouse or like
Work for
more
them.
human trafficking. But they end up keeping her on and essentially like
training her
to
to be like a
become-
Russian agent.
Yeah, like it was full Black
Widow. Yes.
Like I was like, oh my god, this is sick.
Yeah,
Like
I
didn't
mean,
even-
like it's still fucked up. Very Black Widow. Like there's so many girls there, like against their will. Girls that have been raised there from like infancy, so they don't even know like what the rest of the world is actually like, and they're like career girls and stuff. So they strive to like be picked for a mission, to go undercover, to do their job. But like we're talking, these girls like completely lose their identities. They've got like nicknames that are birds. So Mina becomes Lark.
Yeah.
And like there's Dove and
Sparrow
Magpie.
and- yeah.
Yeah, Sparrow. The girls that do get to go out on assignment get fucking tracking chips inserted into their arms. And if they don't charge them, we'll kill them.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's fucking insane. It just like kept going and going and going and going and going.
And Mina actually does get picked for assignment, which caught me by surprise because I'm like, she's only been there like 5 minutes compared to some of these other girls that have been there like their whole lives. But you kind of quickly realize there's like underlying rules about being in this like training facility. It's like nobody talks about the outside world or like why they're there or anything like that. But she quickly like realizes like everybody is there protecting a loved one. So like Mina is there doing it to protect her mother. I
They
think
keep like threatening that they'll kill her and that they've got her and all this stuff.
if they're not like essentially doing what they're told, if they're not like in line, they will like hurt their loved ones.
Yeah.
So that's why Mina is just cooperating, doing everything that like they tell her to, and yeah, she goes out on assignment.
Also, like another thing, forgot to mention, when she is like getting tortured and stuff, she thinks her mum is dead, and it's heartbreaking. Like listening to those scenes where she is going through this, and she's like, "What's the point?"
Yeah.
Like she is so beaten down, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. But then, like, she's still fighting. She's so strong, and like she refuses to give them what they want.
Yeah. And it's because of that resiliency that's why they end up picking her to train her up.
Because they can see the potential.
Yeah. So it's so fucked up how she goes from being
A high schooler in love to a
Yeah.
fucking Russian spy.
Yes. But like even like Mina's mindset on the whole thing, like she does contemplate death. Like she wants out, but then she's like, no, I've got to I do this for mama and everything. And she goes from like, you kind of like see the shift in the way that she thinks from like being there and hating everything. And yes, she still hates everything towards the end, but she does it. Like she does what she's told, and like she is slowly being conditioned to this way of life.
It's so messed up. It's so messed up. So many
But
things happen.
I loved how everything linked together. You didn't think there was a connection, and then like chapters later, you're like, oh,
yeah, everything
Oh.
connected. Everything made sense. If you were reading something, you were going, why?
this is why like I gave it 5 stars as well.
Yeah.
I can't stop
Made me
thinking
think.
about it. It's got me thinking. Like it's still living in the back of my mind, even though I finished it days ago.
Literally.
But like I want to go back and read it again.
Some of the little details, like when they're at the bar and she gets like a random text message on her phone.
Like you've got to go to the bar to get a drink. Like that's part of
And
her instructions.
nothing else. She doesn't know who it's from or anything. And she starts talking to this guy, and then nothing comes from it for a while.
You're just like, why? Why
And
why
then
were they testing
the
it
ending,
like that?
you're like,
That's the guy. It all connects.
it all makes sense. And even like while Oliver is back in the US trying to still find her, doing everything.
The thing that
he
really
can.
got me was Oliver tried so hard. He's looking like everywhere, literally in the
everything.
local area. He thinks she is somewhere still around like
She's
Florida.
in fucking Russia.
She finally got on a plane, and like he was tracking like security cameras to see where the van went that took her, and he's like, I lost the camera footage like here, but she's got to be around this like dingy area somewhere.
He was like
he's
confronting people that will fucking kill him,
checking like hotels and everything,
going to dodgy places.
Oh my god, he tried so hard to find her.
He really loved her, and that's what I think. That's one of the biggest things that got to me was how much he loved and fought for her.
Yeah,
like.
I feel like their relationship was like a week old, and he was like there, like bending over backwards.
It was just really sad.
I know.
And like he gets help from CJ and Kenan, and there's just so many little things. And then like when they get introduced to fucking Antonio, I don't fucking know. Crazy
Kieran's Russian friend.
Yeah, and then it clicks, and just. There's so many things.
The thing that got me was the exotic gift.
It all made sense.
Like on Mina's assignment, one of her tasks was she had to figure out where she could buy like an exotic gift from, and just the way that that even connected into the ending. Holy shit! Yeah. So ending wise, you kind of just stop and think like, where is this all going? Where is this happening? And then all of a sudden, we're in an apartment, like the day after a party, following from Oliver's perspective. Like, he's there with Kieran and this other Russian dude who I've forgotten the name of. He was literally a voyeur in their sex situation the night before, but he was blacked out drunk on tequila that he didn't remember any of it, just could only kind of guess what happened until they were like, yeah, we did this in front of you. It's like, whoa.
So many, it's wild.
Holy shit. I'm like, you're just a high school student. What are these people doing?
Yeah.
And then, like, Mina walks in and turns out, like, she's blacked out. She's losing time now.
Yeah, now it's gotten to that point that she is that person. She doesn't know who Mina was. She doesn't even know who Lark was anymore, because now she is this identity.
She's
that
taken
she
on
is,
this persona.
Yeah, and she's losing track of time. She's just so focused on this task that it shocks her. When she sees Oliver, it brings her back, and she
thinks it's just her imagination.
Yeah, and I just picture her like deer in the headlights. Like, what do I do? What is happening? Who is this? Why
is my brain torturing me like this? Why is he here in this situation?
And
connected to these
from
people.
Like his point of view, he's like, what is she doing here?
Also, deer in headlights.
Why is she like this new person from Russia who's like rich and needs to buy a fucking tiger? Like, wild. Absolutely
Is this
wild.
how he was it?
No, but oh my god. This.
Yeah.
Oh.
How it all connected at the end was just
Brilliant.
amazing.
Absolutely brilliant.
Because there was a lot of times I was like, why is this happening? Why are we being pointed in this direction? And like, obviously, like at the time, there was still a reason for it, but there was just a plan underlying the whole time throughout the whole book. And when it all came together at the end, fantastic. And I was just getting, like, I was watching how much audio time I had left, and the closer and closer I got towards the end without any resolution, without like Mina or Oliver being like, you know, without him finding her, I was like, how is this going to end?
There's literally that last 5% that everything happened.
Oh my god.
Because
done.
I remember doing like a reaction.
Oh, that was smart.
Being like, because something happened. It wasn't even the whole thing. It was just one of the things. And I was sent. Like, I was like, how is this? And then it ended.
Yeah, it ended the way it ended.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There's going to be another one.
Totally going to be a book 3.
Because we don't know anything.
There's no conclusion yet.
Everything I thought I knew.
It's a cliffhanger.
Biggest cliffhanger ever.
Oh my god. So as it turns out, oh god, get this.
Get this.
CJ
is FBI. What? I did not see that coming. That got me.
That fucking got me good.
I was like,
and
wow.
he arrests both Mina and Oliver for wild exotic animal trafficking.
I think there's more to it. I think that's a way to get them out of the situation.
Me too. But like, it kind of ends with like Mina just being like, oh fuck, and she like looks down at her wrist, like,
yeah,
like,
she's gonna fucking die.
What's gonna happen?
And
Is she
her
gonna
mum,
be able to?
and her mum. Her mum wasn't even captured.
I don't know how much I trust that.
She's with the dad.
I don't know how much I trust it.
Dad, though.
I don't know how much I trust it at all. because I don't know what to believe. They said like at the start of the book, like her mum was moved. I don't know.
I reckon she was moved in. She was moved into FBI custody. She says that. And then she ends up escaping.
Yeah, but we
won't tell her
we
anything.
didn't trust the first FBI. No, but like at the same time, she could have been being delivered like a script. It just felt too convenient how like the mum came back into the story.
I just don't trust his dad. I don't trust the dad at all.
There's so much more
like,
to happen.
why are you letting this happen to your fucking wife and daughter?
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. I don't care how he got involved. He's a piece of shit for getting involved with it.
And yeah, just not doing the right thing. And like, after the fucking first book in the alley, like, after his own daughter gets fucking beat up.
And he's like, I'm going to take care of everything. Clearly
you didn't fucking take care of it, mate.
Your daughter got kidnapped and sent to Russia.
And it just sounded like he had no, like, sympathy. Like, he just didn't care. Like, when...
Well, here's the thing. We don't actually get anything from the dad's perspective. We only get told his side through Lily. So it's like Chinese whispers.
Yeah, there's like a scene where Oliver finally gets in contact with Nina's mum, and the dad's like in the background, and he's like talking and stuff, and I just didn't get the vibe that he actually gave a shit that his daughter had been kidnapped and now was a fucking Russian spy held against her will. Like, whereas Lily
she's
is
been missing for
out.
months. Like maybe panic a little bit.
What the fuck? Yeah. Nah.
Yeah. Anyways, 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. 5 stars, hands down.
Obviously, there are some really heavy topics.
Yeah. Obviously.
In book 2, which I feel like we've touched on a lot. So
it's just, it goes into more depth, obviously. So
heavy.
check those triggers.
Heavy.
Because even I was shocked.
Yeah, it's not like the darkest of books that we've ever read, but I feel like compared to like dark romances where we read, this one hits a lot harder because it's a reality.
Yeah, it's not a dark romance.
It's not a dark romance. It's literally like
this
an unfortunate reality for some people.
I felt a lot of emotions in this book. I just loved it. I loved it so much.
Same. I'll read it again.
Yeah, I've already
Happily
been like
again.
sending it to others. Like, you need to read this book. You need to read this book. You need to read this book because it changed my life. Do you find out in the first book more about what happened to Oliver? That was kind of the only thing because with his whole because you hear parts about the family he stayed with and the dude like doing stuff to the kids.
I feel like Oliver confessing at the very end of book 1, literally when they're in her bedroom, that's when he's opening up. Because like, you go through a lot of book 1 just not knowing. Just know that like he was in like some shitty situations and like the stuff he had to do to kind of like survive and whatnot. But yes, it was literally at the end of book 1 where they're confessing like their love to each other and they're actually opening up about like their past and whatnot. He kind of starts touching on it, you know. It's not a full this is my history, this is why I'm so dark and broody and why I'm emancipated from my parents. So
because that was rough. Just hearing like snippets, I was like,
but no, fantastic books, really well done.
Fantastic.
Cannot wait for book 3. Curious to know if it's actually going to wrap up in the 3rd book or continue further, because
what's going to happen?
What is going to happen? What is going to fucking happen?
I don't know. But I'm there for it. I am so there. As soon as it comes out.
I'm going to go for like the ARC. I'm going to go for the ALC. Like, you will not be able to keep this book out of my hands when it's released.
Seriously, Emilia, if you ever see this, we're there.
I think you've become like an auto-read author for us now.
Hands down.
Easily.
Incredible.
So,
we should wrap this up.
I don't even... How do I summarize this? If you're looking for a young adult coming of age story where your main characters are battling, I guess, the traumas of the world, only to have your heart ripped out in like book 2, then yes, I highly recommend the Love and Other Sins series by Emilia Ares.
And until next time, happy reading.
Bye.